And with the start of school around here just under a couple of weeks away, how Jefferson County Public Schools will implement Senate Bill 150 in Kentucky is still undecided, and it was on the table again tonight. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. Senate Bill 150 in Kentucky impacts schools by banning discussions on gender expression, sexual orientation, or gender identity. It also allows teachers to ignore a student's preferred pronouns, and it restricts bathroom access. Tonight, Jefferson County School Board members talked about and discussed two versions of the policy during a meeting that ended with no vote and school coming fast. The WHAS11 night team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Ian Hardwitt were there at that meeting. And Taylor, you listened to a lot of concerns today. What are some of the top issues you heard?
Well, Doug, JCPS school board members, they could not come to an agreement tonight when deciding on how Senate Bill 150 needs to be implemented. However, the school district must make a decision by August 15th. With JCPS starting school in less than 2 weeks, the debate over making a decision on how Kentucky Senate Bill 150 will be implemented continues. But some parents came with demands, hoping a decision would be made tonight.
To vote for version 2, to take a stand and say we support all of our students.
She's talking about the two versions of SB 150 presented to and being debated by the JCPS School Board. Both drafts largely follow the language provided by the Kentucky School Board Association. Version 1 includes language that the district is concerned about. The law and warns certain provisions may violate Title IX. Version 2, created by JCPS staff, takes it a step further with a statement at the beginning saying SB 150 violates the U.S. Constitution and Title IX. However, most parents and students are in favor of version 2.
So it would make socially transitioning easier, and getting misgendered and dead names is extremely uncomfortable for me.
Inside the Van Hoos Center, students, parents, teachers, and allies took the podium voicing how the board's decision will impact students.
What if there is a trans kid at my school and we now have to use the wrong pronouns for? What if they have to go into a bathroom that makes them feel uncomfortable and unsafe?
JCPS board members could not come to an agreement. They decided to table and hold this until they hear from the federal government. Board members discussed why they either were against or for version 2.
For our teachers' sake, this issue is going to be very difficult because they don't always know what the preferred pronouns are.
While some board members felt changes need to be made regarding the language of SB 150.
The malintent is very clear that it is intended to further marginalize an already vulnerable group.
Since no one was able to come to an agreement, JCPS General Counsel Kevin Brown intervened.
If this vote to table passes, you very well may be hearing from Dr. Polio and myself on or before August 15th to take another run at getting a policy in place.
Now, the school board also approved a resolution affirming support for LGBTQ plus students. In studio, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
Taylor, thank you. Senate Bill 150 also banned gender-affirming care for minors in Kentucky. The ACLU, representing families, has challenged that ban in federal court. Following a series of rulings, the ban was allowed to go into effect earlier this month. A motion filed by the ACLU to lift that decision is still pending in the courts. Also tonight, the brown trucks are going to keep on rolling to your doorstep after UPS, one of Louisville's biggest employers, and the union reached a tentative agreement today to avoid a strike here and nationally. Union members had already voted to authorize a strike and held these practice pickets at Worldport in Louisville, by the airport, and facilities around the country. The Teamsters called this new agreement historic for UPS. They say it includes a $2.75 per hour raise in the first year and $7.50 more per hour throughout the life of the contract. Most trucks bought after January 1st of 2024 will have new air conditioning, and package cars will have cab fans installed. Customers across the country said they were happy to see this deal.
And anyone who is expected to have a delivery, they want that person to be honest, respectful, kind, and courteous. And if those people are doing those things, they deserve the pay that they are asking for. I definitely believe that.
Of course, Louisville is a big UPS town, and a statement from the UPS chairman says the agreement rewards its employees while, quote, retaining the flexibility we need to stay competitive, serve our customers, and keep our business strong. The members will be voting on the contract next month. Well, the popular pavilion is going to be torn down tomorrow. We're talking about the TP in Cherokee Park at Hogan's Fountain after the city declared an emergency demolition. Demolition at the TP in Cherokee Park will begin tomorrow. We learned today from the city. City leaders are worried that it could collapse at any time. It's in bad shape, they say. Deputy Mayor Nicole George says Metro government has already spent $80,000 to improve it, but several assessments over the years have shown that the structure is unstable. The city does plan to get the community's input on a new structure soon. WHAS11 will have coverage of the demolition tomorrow. A man was sent to the hospital this morning after he was shot by a St. Matthews police officer in the Anchorage neighborhood of eastern Jefferson County. The St. Matthews police chief on the scene, Barry Wilkerson, says officers responded to the home on Bellwood Road at about 3:30 this morning after a woman came to the Anchorage police station with serious injuries from a domestic violence situation. Wilkerson says his department and several other agencies responded to talk to the man inside this home, but he barricaded himself. That's when hostage negotiators and the SWAT team were called in from St. Matthews. During the negotiation, Wilkerson says the man approached officers in a threatening manner with a weapon.
Our officer discharged his firearm, striking the subject. Fortunately, with our SWAT team, we do have medics on scene. The subject was rendered first aid immediately and then transported to University Hospital.
Wilkerson says the man, who is the woman's boyfriend, had several felony bench warrants out of Boone County in northern Kentucky. The Louisville Metro Police Department Public Integrity Unit is investigating the officer-involved shooting. Wilkerson also added that the woman involved is now safe and secure. Police in Ratcliffe, Kentucky have made an arrest in connection to a double homicide outside a Waffle House restaurant. Rodshad Bowser Highsmith is charged with complicity murder, complicity robbery, and attempted murder for the shooting that happened last Saturday. According to his arrest citation, detectives say Highsmith was captured on surveillance video talking with another man about taking a gun from one of the victims. Later, when they tried to take the gun, two men were shot and killed. Police identified them as 18-year-old Shane Estrada and 30-year-old Carlos Bello. Detectives say Highsmith admitted to his role in the shooting. And a man charged in connection to a road rage shooting 2 weeks ago in Louisville that injured a 6-year-old is now facing federal charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office as a federal grand jury has indicted Jonathan Rivera for possession of a gun by a convicted felon. Rivera is also facing state charges in this case. 6-year-old Onyx Sands was shot in the back. It severed her spine in what police say was a road rage shooting on I-65 at the Outer Loop. It ended off the interstate by the U of L campus. Investigators say a gun found in Rivera's waistband matched shell casings at the shooting scene. No one has been charged with firing the bullet that hit Onyx. And the trial began today for a man accused of killing his wife and another man at a New Albany, Indiana gas station last year. Sherrock Douglas is charged with the deaths of his wife, Brandy, and Lauren Yell, who was a bystander coming out of the gas station at the time. Throughout the trial, prosecutors say they'll show gas station surveillance video, body camera footage, and interviews between police and Douglas. Meantime, the defense insists the violent acts were a result of a mental breakdown. Today, we talked with Brandy's best friend about this case.
It makes me sick to my stomach to know what he did. He didn't have to go that extreme. You know, they could have just left. You know, walked away. You got kids without a mother without a daughter.
We are told that Douglas is expected to testify in his defense. Floyd County Prosecutor Chris Lane says he expects the trial to last a couple of weeks, with as many as 20 witnesses they're going to bring to the stand. JCPS students are now, as we've been telling you, about 2 weeks away from the start of the new school year, and sweeping district-wide changes are impacting everything from school assignments to bus times. Superintendent Marty Polio today says there are now more bus drivers than routes, which they hope will cut down on the double and triple runs for the buses. Transportation leaders say the average walking distance to bus stops, though, is 1/4 mile, but some students could be walking further to get to their stop. That has some parents voicing their frustrations.
And I believe with this new bus schedule and the way that the kids have been moved around into neighborhood stops versus now being picked up on main roads that are busy at 6:20 in the morning and pitch dark, that's not safe. And it's not even safe for the parents to stand out there, honestly.
Superintendent Polio is asking for patience from parents as the district works through the first few days.
We're confident that we're going to be successful in it. But there's no doubt when you have the major change that we are taking on, not just in transportation, but in many other areas, there's going to be kinks and hiccups that we're going to have to work out.
Well, we invite you to check out your child's route. We've got it all posted for you on your back to school headquarters, WHAS11.com.